College football is a weird sport, and with schools like Florida State and Georgia, it's even weirder. You have Georgia, on the other hand, who missed the college football playoff because they lost to a Bama team that just played a little bit better. They lost by 6, and they don't get any benefit of the doubt, and they missed the college football playoff, and they end up 6 after being number 1 and winning like 30 some straight games. And you have Florida State, the first undefeated Power 5 team that has not got into the college football playoff. We all remember when Cincinnati went there and got burnt. They got toasted. We all remember when TCU got in there. They got toasted in the championship game. They got absolutely run out of the building. Why doesn't Florida State get that chance? Even if we can get into Florida State and why they didn't make it later. But in this game versus Georgia, they already have about 20 opt-outs. This line is at about 19 and a half points in favor of Georgia. In my opinion, this will be a shorter video because there's not a whole lot to talk about. In my opinion, Florida State, they should have just opted out of this game. They should have just opted out of this game because the college football playoff sold to ESPN and the SEC for Bama. They sold. And I mean, that's entirely accurate. I don't think anyone else can really dispute that. So if I'm Mike Norvell and you have half your team leaving you and some pretty darn good players, Johnny Wilson's opting out, Tate Rodmaker's already in the portal, they got a bunch of guys that are already gone. Yeah, if I'm not Mike Norvell, I just say, no, we're not playing in this game. And obviously that hasn't happened. They're gonna get blown out by Georgia. Is it gonna be 19 points? I don't know. I'm personally taking Florida State not to win, just to cover that spread. All they have to do is lose by 17, and you win that spread pretty much. And that's still a blowout. That's the Browns and Jets game right there. Everyone considers that a blowout. They won by 17. But back to the point. They're already playing this game. They're set on it. And Georgia, you have a demoralized team here. You just want to go beat the snot out of a team. If you're a team like Georgia, if you're Kirby Smart, they don't have a whole lot of opt-outs. Carson Beck's playing in this game. Brock Bowers is not going to play in this game, but we saw when he was gone, the offense is going to be just fine. So in this game, obviously, we're going to have Georgia winning this game. I don't know who has Florida State winning. You're high if you're picking Florida State to win this game, or you just don't know anything about these teams. But Georgia will win this game by 17 to 18 points. I think we can all say that with a certain amount of assurance. But really, it's really hard to watch Florida State as an outsider. Being from the Big Ten Conference, my team's in the Big Ten Conference, and you have a team that you just don't care about, that you suddenly just really feel bad for. And I don't feel bad for really any team because they somehow deserve it which way or the next, but they did all they could, man. They played against a really good Louisville team and beat them with Brock Glenn, And I'm sure if they're in the college football playoff, Tate Rodemaker doesn't transfer out. I guarantee you that. And I guarantee you all their players play. And they have a good defense. They have a legit defense. And they showed that in the Louisville game. They've been showing it all year. I just feel I'm super frustrated about how they got left out of the college football playoff. I don't see why they did. So I guess this isn't really a prediction video. This is more of me ranting about how they got left out of the college football playoff. But yeah, I think Georgia's going to win this game. Yeah, I think they're going to win by 17. But you got this feeling Florida State is going to be better next year. If they get a quarterback in the transfer portal, if they get a guy that they like to replace Jordan Travis, most of this defense is returning. I know Jared Verse is going to be gone, but, this isn't the best Mike Norvell we've seen. I think that there are brighter days ahead. There's going to be playoff chance when we expand. They're definitely going to be in the college football playoff. But even if we didn't expand, I think he's going to lead the Seminoles to a top 4 spot. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, enable alerts, and go watch my other preview videos. I'll be putting some more out later. I'll see you then.